Alrighty, so we got the championship match here between Tmoon and Kaplane. I hope my audio quality isn't too terrible. I don't have my microphone with me. Let's look at this first kingdom. A lot going on here. Village, fortress, squire, exploration, draw is torturer, scholar, oracle, advisor. How would I open here? Exploration, silver, or oracle, or I'm not sure. A little behind. Let's see what they did. Exploration Silver and Exploration Oracle. Okay, yeah, those seem like the main openings to me. There's no trashing, which makes Forum look real good, and Warehouse look not bad, and Torturer seem like a huge threat. I would think the main thing that you're doing here is just trying to set up a big Torturer chain, and if you can win the curse split pretty handily, you're probably well on your way to winning. That being said, Treasure might be the first 5, given that it just does a lot for your reliability hitting 5. Oh wait, why was I saying there's no trashing? Treasurer can trash coppers. There's no estate in curse trashing, which I guess is not quite the same thing. It still makes Forum good, Torture good, etc. But it is not quite correct to say there's no trashing. You can trash coppers. Yeah, I'm not sure why Johnson doesn't like the Oracle. Oracle seems quite okay to me. Like, if you see Oracle turn 3, you're very likely to hit 5 and have triggered a shuffle with your Treasurer in it. Yeah, so Tmoon and Kaplane both get Treasure on their first 5 and on turn 3, which is good. Warehouse looks fine. They're basically mirrored up to this point. In fact, almost exactly. Except for their openings were slightly different, but they've ended up in almost the exact same spot. Kaplane's already got a village, which seems good. Outside of the opening silver, I feel like you're not really picking up treasure here for quite a while. It's just a lot of engine pieces that you want. Yeah, Scholar seems like it might be good here. Discard down to like Scholar, Fortress, and something. Or if you have villagers, I mean, you could even tank 2 torture attacks rather than just the 1, then discard down to just Scholar. Steph doesn't like it, apparently. I guess the best argument against Scholar is just that every Scholar that you get is not a Torturer, and so while you might be defending against theirs, it's reducing your ability to attack them. It doesn't seem obviously bad to me, though. That's a sad discard for Kaplane. It always feels extra bad when not only do you have to discard 2 cards from your hand, but you're discarding 2 junk cards right before triggering a shuffle, because you know that those 2 junk cards are going right back into that shuffle. So discarding at the bottom of the shuffle like that is Kaplane just feels even worse than normal. I'm not sure that second warehouse is any better than just buying nothing. I think a plausible buy there is just to skip your buy and take the coffer and the villager from exploration. Squire would also not be bad. The village. The warehouse isn't like terrible though. I mean, you do need sifting. So I'm tempted to say Kaplane is in the lead right now. 2 tortures to 1 and 0 curses to 1, both of which point in his favor. And 2 fortresses to 1. Yeah, bottom decking treasurer is kind of painful. That was a sad turn for kaplane, but this turn coming up is about to hurt. I mean, taking the first curse there is definitely not bad as Tmoon. You got warehouses in your hand. You're more receptive than usual to having junk. That being said, I don't know, 2 curses? You probably pitch the junk cards here. Yeah. In any case, I think it's just looking pretty bad. Would not play... Oh, I see. They had to use a villager to play that treasurer. Yeah, that might not be worth it. Boy. Nonetheless, kaplane still seems to have quite the edge. They've already gotten in 2 curses. And they got another fortress and a forum. Forum is a pretty good card here. Unlike warehouses, it doesn't hurt your deck to have just as many forums as you can fit in them. Because warehouse reduces your hand size, whereas forum is draw neutral. And so forum is just like free reliability, which is good in a deck where you A, have a ton of junk, and B, are likely to have a very small starting hand. So Tmoon considering whether to pitch this, I would think the answer is yes. They choose to top deck it. Okay. I mean, you can't play both of those. I would have thought that you were playing the Treasurer over the Torturer, but they disagree. I assume they'll play it out further, but this looks very winning for kaplane. I'm not seeing a reasonable path back into this for Tmoon. Kaplane's down to what? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 junk cards in their deck, including the silver. Tmoon has 4 coppers, 2 curses. So they're at 9, but one of those is a curse rather than a silver, which definitely seems worse. kaplane also has a forum rather than a second warehouse. And has more torturers. Basically just every advantage. Except Tmoon does have the key at the moment, and does have an extra villager. Yeah, this seems pretty resignable. But that's just how torturer games go. They tend to snowball. Forum and Squire? I don't want silver. I don't know why you would want silver here. I mean, Squire is good if you're looking to get plus buy. You could also just do Forum Fortress or something to that effect. kaplane takes forum squire. Seems reasonable to me. Steph prefers the fortress. Also seems reasonable to me. John's wanted a silver. I don't understand that one. Yeah, I think Steph's last comment kind of summarizes the nature of this kingdom. It's just, you really want to win the curse split as decisively as you can, and that involves playing as many torturers as frequently as you can. I give it probably 2 more turns before the curses are gone, although it's quite possible Tmoon resigns before that. This is a dicey set of cards to discard down to as Tmoon, because if you play that warehouse, like even if you draw a village, you're either gonna have to pitch that or pitch your torturer. I mean, not that there's really a good play in their position other than resigning. Unpleasant hand for kaplane. I think you probably just pitch whatever you need to pitch, take the exploration, and not even bother trying to have a turn. And a villager. A coffer and a villager for cap. Maybe if Tmoon can get in all 3 of these next 3 curses, maybe they've got a shot. Because I think that would end up with a tied curse split. Although I don't know if they have enough torturers to do that. I think as kaplane you discard 2 more times here. I really want to keep curses in the pile, because you know if you don't take them this turn, your opponent's going to. Ah, interesting. I was thinking Fortress Torture, but I can see the logic in this. I think kaplane is just saying they're willing to spend a villager for a higher chance of having a full turn. And yeah, like this could be among the most important turns of the game, because this will decide whether the curse splits, 7-3 in kaplane's favor, or not. And I think you play the Torturer first here. Seven. I would think just another forum and another squire, although it's not totally obvious. Yeah. Kaplane does indeed opt to play Torturer first. Makes sense to me. If you were wanting to play the Forum first, you would have just kept the Fortress, because presumably that's what you would have been seeking. And yeah, it looks like Kaplane will in fact win the curse split pretty handily, and with that, presumably the game. Yeah. Like, the problem for Tmoon is, like, I mean, it makes sense, I guess, to discard this hand because this hand is bad. But if Kaplane's not going to dud, there's no way you have another turn unless you eat at least 2 curses, in which case, game's already going to be over. Would have been nice to draw the Fortress earlier so you could take the plus buy off of Squire. Not a big deal, though. 2 more forums and a Squire. Just make absolutely sure you don't dud. And then at some point, Team Moon takes the curses and then it's over. Forum Fortress also sounds fine. Just forum, and not a village. That I don't like as much. I would be willing to spend 1 extra coffer to get 1 more village in my deck. Fascinating. I've like, Kaplane is not overflowing with villages. He was running low on them that last turn after having spent a villager to kick off his turn. I would be happy to have additional squires in my deck. Especially because you need to play at least 1 squire for plus buy. Well, probably most 1 squire. And then you might in this awkward. If you only have 1 squire in this awkward position where maybe your starting hand is Squire Torture, you have to use it for plus action, and then you have no way to get plus buy. A second squire is just a nice safe bet. I mean, granted, I think the game's already kind of over anyway. But surely adding a squire in a deck with that many torturers only reduces your risk of dudding. Same position as last turn. What do you do with 11? I still think Forum Squire is good. Forum Fortress also fine. Still don't like double Forum and nothing else all that much. Alright, this time he took the Squire. Okay. I don't think any of this is going to make much of a difference. Kaplane probably wins in 2 turns, maybe, on Forums and Torturers. Or just wins right now. Yeah, that's a pretty reasonable resign that has been a long time coming. So Kaplane wins as player 1. See if Tmoon can reciprocate. We got Menagerie and a card from Menagerie. What are we doing here? Trashing is raise or research, or conceivably Flame's Gift. Draw, vault, Menagerie, eventually City, research, plus buy. Well, Falconer can gain things, some random boons maybe. Eventually City. Action is city. What do you do here? I feel like you want to get trashed reasonably fast, and then maybe some combination of Vault, Menagerie, and City is good. Although, I don't know, maybe there's an argument for just playing more money-ish, given that it's going to be a long time before you have any reasonable source of plus buy. I don't know. So, okay, Kaplane has just decided this is IGG. Not totally sure that's wrong. Might be correct. So, the Banquet IGG thing will, I mean, it'll pretty much guaranteed to empty IGGs in 10 turns max, and then you start in on duchies. That could be quite the annoyance. That being said, your opponent can trash the curses with relative ease as well. I don't know. The Banquet IGG thing does seem scary. At the same time, you empty two piles real fast, IGG and Curse, which then resolves the one big problem that the engine would have, which is all of a sudden it's got plenty of plus buy and draw from cities. And then maybe they can outbuild you while you're trying to empty all the duchies. But if you don't take all 10 IGGs and they just take the last few, or if you take like 7 or 8 of them and they've bought cities in the interim, then they can take the last few IGGs and be in the same spot, I would think. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying the IGG thing is bad. I think it's at the very least worth considering. It is definitely the strategy that lets you just mentally check out the most. Just wait for your opponent to do their thing, and then you click Banquet, click IGG, and you're done. What did Tmoon open with? I didn't actually look. They took Falconer in the opening. Is that good? I'm not seeing the appeal of the early Falconer. What are you gaining with it? I feel like if I were not doing the IGG thing, I would probably just open Research Raise, regardless of what split I had, and take the silver. The problem with Falconer is like it can gain you researches and stuff, but then it can't play them, and it just ends up being like a fancy workshop. You know your opponent's not going to be gaining any 2-tap cards for you. Menagerie is indeed a good card. And Menagerie does work pretty well with Raise. You got a non-terminal trasher, so if you draw 2 estates or 2 coppers or something, you can trash it. Oh, Steph is also pointing out Fool works really well with Menagerie as well, because you can just discard to Lost in the Woods to increase activation likelihood. Yeah, I think I'm increasingly convinced that the IGG thing is suboptimal. I can definitely see the Menagerie heavy deck outrunning this. Another falconer. Maybe? Oh, who won the E Honda Cat of the Year game? Cat did, right? Nice, congratulations. Most, if nothing else, for the stamina of enduring a what 4.5 hour match. Tmoon is really thinking this through. I feel like the two main considerations for their deck are City and Falconer. What? Hmm. That is a bad choice, I would think. Yeah, I could see Fool as well. It makes sense to me. Well, I think if I wanted Fool, I might just take the City and then try to play like City Falconer and then gain the Fool mid-turn. The IGG, I don't. You're helping your opponent lower piles. I mean, I guess it's nice if you can research it, but then that doesn't synergize particularly well with Menagerie. So the question is Province bad for kaplane? I feel like the answer is probably. Like, I think the only things I want to click on are Banquet, IGG, and Duchy. If I'm playing the deck that he is. Not 100% on that. I think from this point onwards, with kaplane, I would just buy Duchies. I don't think I like that IGG. Like you're bringing the piles too close to cities activating. I think you leave the IGGs at like 2, and then you take all the Duchies, and then you're like, if you like miss 5 at some point, and then in those 8 turns, you take an IGG, I guess, and otherwise you take the last 2 IGGs last, so as to minimize the utility of any cities that Tmoon acquires. Tmoon is very close to having a functioning deck, and kaplane is not that close to ending the game. I feel like the odds do seem to favor Tmoon if they play this correctly. I mean, kaplane has an easier time playing the deck. Wait, how did kaplane end up with the gold? I assume that must have been off the Fool, right? Gains gold. Okay, yeah, he got it off of the Sky's Gift. Steph is very confident. Steph thinks the odds are 99% in Tmoon's favor. I don't know if it's that high. But I think I would rather take Tmoon's deck than kaplane's at this point in the game. Tmoon does have no cities yet, though. This would be a good turn to acquire one. I like that. So you trash a curse. I assume you just falconer for another menagerie. And then I mean research is it's basically like popping rays, but with more search space. Steph has a good point about popping Lucky Coin, I guess, might even be better. Um, I think it's 1-0 for kaplane. Dodgy time. Kill that silver. Tmoon is a little worryingly slow to cities, but I mean, they're already double activated. So you can pick up 2 this turn, I would expect. Yeah, I like Johnson's idea of playing a fool. Gain it and then play it. How much money do they have right now? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You need some good boons to hit 10. So maybe they can't quite get 2 cities yet. They could buy a city and banquet a city. Although then you're at a reasonable risk of dudding. That might still be worth it. Or do they have more money than I thought? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, this is fine. They can get 2 cities without banqueting if they get a decent fool's boon, or if they just take a singular copper off of the IGG. The pillage idea is interesting. Kaplane's deck does seem actually rather susceptible to not hitting 5 if you can like discard an IGG or something. So now you play 1 raise to trash the other raise, I would think. Yep, take the copper. Sad hand. Trash the silver. I mean, this is still plausibly fine if they find anything good off of this silver trash. Like if you pull your Falconer, you could just... Okay, they don't pull the Falconer. That's sad. I mean, this is like a sad failure to activate 2 of their menageries, and they're still drawing pretty well. Might just be anyone's game now. Stop taking silvers, please. Why do they even want that silver? I'm gonna buy a raise? Oh, and a copper. Oh, and a province. Pillage a day keeps the kaplane away. Oh, yeah, kaplane looks to be winning now. I no longer like Tmoon's position very much at all. So where did this go wrong? I feel like it was a combination of too many IGG gains, too many silver gains, and then those things not being cities and menageries. Tmoon's deck also might benefit from like a singular vault, or would have benefited from a singular vault. They're overdrawing. You could easily pitch a bunch and redraw with menagerie, I think, for payload, so you don't need to have as many silvers around as you do. More silvers. Hmm. I mean, the only reason I would assume they're playing that is because they have some specific price point they really wanted to hit. They bought a. They took a silver to buy a guardian. Okay then. So let's see. Tmoon can't win this turn, so kaplane. Oh, kaplane actually misses 5. Then again, Tmoon also misses. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, still probably so. Oh yeah. Yeah, Volt. I mean, Volt does seem like a good card for Tmoon's deck. But like even with kaplane missing this, supposing kaplane gets a duchy the following turn and is at 33. If Tmoon gets both provinces, that brings him to 24, and then gets 1, 2, 3, 4 duchies. I think there's a world where Tmoon can still win this with like really good draws. I don't think it involves buying 2 duchies that turn though. Like I think you really want like a vault or something. Like a duchy vault sounds a lot better to me. I mean, actually, to be fair, Tmoon did not know that kaplane was about to dud, and that might have been influencing my perception that Tmoon had more time. It's possible Tmoon is playing very desperately, but even so, I don't see a winning. Like, if kaplane buys the duchy, double duchy is not winning in response to that for sure. Think this is just 2 estates for kaplane? Double guardian is interesting also, yeah. I can get behind that. Yeah, if kaplane could get 1 more province, they'd be in a very good spot. Looks like the guardian ends up not mattering. These menageries are no longer doing things, and these silvers are largely to blame. Silvers. They're better than golds, but still not that great. Yeah, province duchy is probably the best you can do. Double duchy. I don't understand the double duchy. I feel like it's one of those like, oh, I can't touch the penultimate province things. But your opponent isn't trying to win by emptying provinces. Your opponent's trying to win by emptying duchies. This actually seems like, like even setting the points aside entirely, lowering duchies just seems worse than lowering provinces. Okay, so Tmoon needs 11 points, which basically means double province. That's within the realm of possibility, right? I mean, this doesn't look like the draw for it. Imagine if they just had 1 vault in their deck. If they had a singular vault. Yeah, you'd need like multiple boons to activate this menagerie, wouldn't you? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 cards you have to get rid of. One of them can be raised. So I think Skies alone is enough. You could like discard 2 duchies and province for gold and then raise the silver. I mean, it's desperation time, and Tmoon is not behaving in a sufficiently desperate manner. Oh, wait, we're 8? Oh my god. So, is this it? This is it, isn't it? Nice, yeah, just Falconer for silver, you got it. Wow, okay, Tmoon does bring it back in the end. Oh. To win by 1 point. Well played. we had a team in for a bit there in the middle. There was certainly some doubting going on. Okay, 1-all. What's going on here? A lot of things. So plus buy is Seaway. You got saunas for trashing. And, I mean, sauna's only reliable trashing. You could also trash with mine or with zombie mason. Minions exist. Hagglers exist. Raider, I guess in the most minimal sense, exists. Treasury. What are you doing here? I don't know. I want to seaway something. I want to seaway something and then get a quarry, maybe multiple quarries. Um, that but the thing to seaway is probably sauna, isn't it? I mean, you can sauna, not sauna. You can seaway necromancers, so they don't necessarily want a bunch of those. Um, I'm not totally sure what direction this kingdom is supposed to go. I could easily see it degenerating into like a sauna Avento thing pretty easily. Like you're already naturally pretty inclined to get saunas, both for the trashing and because it's like one of the only 2 seaway targets. And then once saunas start to get low, then Avento looks good. Malo was mentioning a minion stack. I don't. Oh, Steph is right. Steph is right. I forgot. You could actually once you get quarry in play, you can seaway actually pretty much any of the action cards, any of them in fact. Um, hmm. But you still need sauna for trashing, though. I think like you're not zombie masoning at all your starting cards, and so I think I mean, maybe you just do like a sauna or 2 into a minion stack, and maybe minions and treasuries and such are better. But I feel like this is probably like sauna Avento with Haggler as a terminal. That's where my brain is headed. So how do we open? Both of them open sauna silver. Okay, fair enough. Kaplane has a very nice turn 3. They find the sauna and the silver and hit 5 and get to Seaway Sauna. What about Tmoon? Tmoon also has a nice turn 4. So, next card I think I really want in my deck is Quarry. I think I'd even strongly consider buying Quarry on these like $5 and $6 hands. Right, they both have a Quarry. Who's got the Avento already? Tmoon already has an Avento, but I assume Kaplane is about to pick up 2 more of them here. And then Tmoon gets the last 2. Okay, so it's gonna be 3 saunas for Kaplane to 3 Aventos for Tmoon. I think Avento over 3 trashes is plausible. I mean, like, lining up one sauna Avento chain can easily lead to you trashing 3 things the following turn. And given, like, you're either just drawing with Avento or just with Minion, and they're already committed to the Avento thing. And so winning the Avento split seems pretty significant to me, even more so than winning the sauna split. Wait, did Kaplane end up with 3 of both? Why was I thinking... Oh, I see what happened. I don't know why I thought Tmoon could get 2 of them on turn 7. I was just, like, assuming I'd quarry that wasn't there. Okay, yeah, Kaplane does seem very ahead then. Hmm. So what do you do as Tmoon? Maybe you pivot to, to something else. You get, like, another quarry, and then go heavy for, like, Minion and Treasury or something. Yeah, I can get behind second quarry, like, right now. Quarry and a Necromancer I think is better than nothing for your $2. Actually, yeah, Necromancer is probably better than nothing, although maybe it's not 100% obvious. Like, Zombie Spy gives you, like, marginal sifting ability, but it also blocks your Son Avento chain. I think Necro is still ever so marginally better than nothing here. It's not a great kingdom for Necromancer, which is a shame. I really enjoy that card. Steph can't even hide his hatred of Haggler in his typos. The Gaggler. Kaplane could also consider second quarry here. Kaplane does not consider second quarry here. Now, when I have abundant plus buy, quarry does seem better to me than Haggler for gaming things. It is 1-1 right now. All right, 9. They elect to... Oh, they did trash. What are you getting for 9 here? Haggler and some treasuries? They already have 1 Haggler. Maybe just, like, 3 treasuries? I don't really know. I'm not really sure how to improve the quality of Tmoon's deck, to be honest. Quarry, Minion, Minion, Necro, Minion, Necro. Is your idea here to pivot towards, like, draw to X minion type stuff with those minions? Titan Drake with the advanced mathematics has a point there. Reap! That was not the card I expected to see acquired at any point in this kingdom, really. If the goal is to, like, threaten an early pile out, maybe a second Haggler is in the cards then. So they have 12, but they also have a points deficit. I'm just very profoundly uncertain about what the optimal play is in this position, to be honest. Tmoon decides that it's greening and adding Fool's Golds. That didn't seem like the right move to me, but I also am not sure what the right move is. So Steph says Quarry, Treasury, Seaway, Treasury, Treasury. Doesn't that reduce your total amount of plus buy? Because at the moment, Tmoon has +4 buy from their Saunas and Aventos. Or actually, wait, no. Does Seaway? Yeah, Seaway affects both the Saunas and the Aventos. So if you only take 3 treasuries, you've reduced your plus buy for the following turn. Oh, is he the... Oh, you're right, you're right. He's the one with all the treasuries. That's a good point. 4 plus 3 is indeed bigger than 4. Yeah, we're really breaking out the higher level mathematics here. And it's just way over my head. Truth be told, I think the most advanced mathematics class I ever took was high school calculus. Yeah, I think Steph's line makes sense to me. Just taking a bunch of treasuries and that plus buy becomes a huge threat. The haggler. I have to assume the long game favors kaplane pretty decisively. As kaplane, I would be really looking to finally get rid of those coppers now. Is there a win here? Let's see. There's one haggler in play. You could... I don't see... What's the win? You can empty Fool's Golds. What's the third pile? I mean, kaplane could put themselves in a position to threaten to win the following turn, I would think. I'm not sure why either of them wants Fool's Golds, to be perfectly honest. My best guess is maybe they're having their haggler in play and buying 5-cost action cards and such, and that's why the Fool's Golds keep showing up. I don't know. I don't know why they're... Okay, what about this position for Tmoon? You're looking to buy at least a province. Can you do anything besides that? Could this be a win? 18, 20... It looks a little short. So if they did like duchy, estate, that, yeah, there's a tad short. What a shame. Province also doesn't get you there. Your province treasury. It is buy short. That's one way to look at it. they are just a few buys short of buying Fool's Golds and Estates. Or I think 2 coins short of emptying Province Treasury Fool's Gold. I think if Tmoon drew the whole deck there, they would have a win. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, you're right, you're right. They're also short on buys regardless. Duchy, duchy, quarry, quarry. Are you suggesting like they'd win next turn if they made those buys? So my guess is there's no safe play here that protects from kaplane drawing. Although kaplane is in a position where they might very reasonably dud. So double province duchy would lose to double province estate, which kaplane does easily if they draw. Tmoon's best bet might be playing towards a dud. Yeah, it does seem very reasonable that you might just have to assume kaplane draws badly and hope that that is correct. Now, what's on top of Tmoon's deck? Are they slated for a dud? They've got a Sauna down there, but no Avanto. I assume if you're buying Province Duchy, you just lower the treasuries and fool's golds as much as you possibly can, because you're not looking to like avoid a 3-pile. You're looking to maximize your chance of being able to pile out the following turn. So like take 2 provinces, take 2 treasuries, take duchy, take fool's gold, and then maybe take duchy, take a 3rd treasury. Just like take 3 treasuries with this. I think is probably the best you can do. They're taking more minions, which are not treasuries. Necromancer is actually not a bad card to add here, because you could easily like zombie apprentice whatever action card you need to keep your turn going in the final turn. I would happily kill like a treasure or something to draw on. So if they're not looking to lower piles by taking treasuries, I think my next best choice would be Necromancer. A lot probably rides on whether kaplane has one of the 3 saunas in their top 14 cards. Don't know what the probability is on that. Let's see. So they got a 11/14 chance to miss, followed by 10/13, followed by 9/12. What do you get when you multiply those together? Think that's the odds that they dud? A 45% chance of dudding or failing to dud? I'm assuming 45% chance of dud. Okay. So odds still look to be in kaplane's favor. But close. Very close. Yeah, this does feel like the wrong direction for Tmoon to be going down. Like these are the buys that you make if you're like, my opponent's gonna have a full turn, and I want to win the following turn. But I don't think Tmoon can win the following turn if kaplane has a full turn. I do think you need to green a bit more aggressively here. Although to be fair, kaplane has been drawing their deck pretty consistently up until this point. I imagine Tmoon is just thinking that the likelihood of dudding is very low, but playing towards it still seems the best move. I like the Necromancer gain. That's the first thing I've liked. The Reap, that was not neither neither of the Reaps did I see coming in the slightest. And now kaplane duds, and I'm sure Tmoon feels a little silly right now for playing so cautiously. Hmm. The minion attack could also help a lot. Yeah, so kaplane will draw here. Seems kind of guaranteed. Even if they get minion attacked, I'm pretty sure they have a Sauna and an Avanto in the bottom 4 cards, right? Yeah. Think you kill the minion? Are there any actions in the trash? No, none of interest. Yeah, Tmoon could have been winning this turn had they played more aggressively. This does not look like it is winning this turn. So kaplane gets a second shot at this. Does that do it? Oh! Oh my goodness. Games where Sauna and Avanto are good are just always so bad. This is a roller coaster of emotions. So now what do you do is kaplane? Triple Dutchy? I'm not saying Sauna Avanto is the wrong strategy. I'm just saying games where it's the right strategy are unpleasant games to play. I mean, everything kind of sounds bad. I mean, you could try single province, but that really lowers the chance that your opponent wins. Like, or other way around, increase the chance your opponent wins. Like kaplane does have 2 Saunas and 2 Avantos down there. They have a reasonable chance of double provincing, I think. If y'all, yeah, I totally overlooked the Duchy Fool's Gold Palette. Yeah, never mind. Three Duchies is dumb. Um, yeah. Double Reap is interesting. This is the first point in this game where I can actually see Reap being sensible. Reap Duchy. You take a free silver? Or a state, I guess. I could see a state as well. What is left in Tmoon's deck? That's a good question. So no more Saunas are left in Tmoon's deck, but there is an Avanto down there, I believe. So they should lead with their Avanto for sure. Or Treasury first, obviously, and then Avanto. They don't find it. Okay. So they have 3, 5, 6, 10 in hand. Wait, did I do that right? I don't think I counted that right. 3, 5. Oh, I skipped over the minion. Yeah, 12. So I think you play the minion and then play the Avanto and pray you find your other Sauna. You could also find a Fool's Gold and any other treasure I think would be enough. Tmoon's position is looking pretty good for how badly they lost both Avento and Sauna split. I I'm a little flabbergasted right now, to tell you the truth. Why did that just happen? They have one Sauna and one Avento in the following 17 cards. I'm so confused by that. So the minion draws you 4 cards, but the Avento draws you 3 cards, plus 2 Fool's Golds. And Kaplane has a sad hand, regardless. I guess minion does attack. That's something. Boy, this game. Is it Reap time for Tmoon? Could just be Duchy time for Tmoon. Just like buy a Duchy, gain a Fool's Gold or something. I'm not sure it would be the least justified Reap that's been bought in this game. Oh, so if Kaplane has a shot, this is it. Oh my goodness. Could it be? Oh, it can't be. It very nearly could have been. 3 coins short, looks like. Kaplane can't take the tie because they're player 1. So they would need double Duchy Province Estate. Maybe just undo the Haggler play and buy 5 estates. I don't know. Okay, now buy 5 estates. Double Duchy seems quite the prayer. You hope your opponent doesn't have 2 in hand. Okay, this looks like a win. Okay. 2-1 for Tmoon. What have we here? So we have no villages. Trashing is priest, or upgrade, or bard with flames gift, theoretically. Draw could be hireling, tragic hero. Those two things, I'm not sure if they synergize well or poorly. Like if you have a hireling in play, your tragic hero just like always kills itself, barring like dungeons or something. This keynote would be infinitely more interesting with villages. You could. I was actually just about to say dungeon counting house is theoretically a thing one could do. I do recall Dan Brooks doing that once, way back in the day. So I think priest dungeon strikes me as the best. Could be upgrade dungeon as well. But I think priest dungeon is where my heart lies. Wandering Winder wants borrowing. I don't understand the comment. Borrow Merchant Guild Owl. So you could borrow and buy a Merchant Guild. And then is that not meant to be a comment on the opening? I really don't understand what that means if it's meant to be an opening suggestion. I think you play with a hireling or two here, probably. I think I do actually like the idea of just getting a hireling down and then buying tragic heroes, and then you get a smithy the first time you play it, and then a gold after that. I think that's what I would want to do. Yeah, one hireling is probably enough. Two might be justified because then you could do the tragic hero thing even with dungeon. But I think a hireling and then tragic heroes is kind of the direction I want to head. So let's see what happened. They both opened Dungeon Priest. No surprise there. Tmoon took an upgrade. They borrowed for an upgrade. Kaplane borrowed for a hireling. Both of those seem alright to me. So you're presumably only having one buy in this scenario that you're describing, Yeti, because you haven't played the Merchant Guild for plus buy. So it's functionally like what, like plus 2 cards plus 1 coffer. Yeah, the thing John's just said, which is okay. Like I don't hate the idea. It anti-synergizes with hireling. It does synergize well with dungeon, but it doesn't strike me as the best thing that you could do. I mean, it could be plus 5 cards if you played a bunch of dungeons. Upgrades seem not bad here. Silvers seem good in a deck like this, and then upgrading upgrades into hirelings or golds also seems good. What was the ouch? What did I just miss? Oh yeah. That was a mistake. It's so sad. You see priest and upgrade in the same hand, and you know that they can never be together in the order they want to be. There's no way to play the priest before the upgrade here. This is a forbidden love. So Kaplane's already got a hireling down. Tmoon doesn't even have a hireling, but they do have a bunch of upgrades. I think this is more thinning that's necessary in a kingdom like this. Like I think playing with priest and upgrade is both probably fine, but 3 upgrades in a priest seems like overkill. You don't need to get rid of all your coppers. Like this kingdom is very simple. There's no way to build big. I would have been looking to upgrade some of those upgrades into 6 costs much sooner than Tmoon has. For sure, you just play Rio. Oh, instead of discarding the tragic hero. I see. Yeah, I figured it out. It just took a second. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I would also probably upgrade the priest pretty soon as well. Like that's gonna outrun its utility. Upgrade the upgrade. Kill the upgrade. Gold, hireling, doesn't matter. This is over trashing. I think I really like kaplane spot right here. Oh, so this is the hand where tragic hero looks a little awkward. You've got the hireling down, but you've also got a dungeon. And so if you play the dungeon, you don't get to pop the hero. And this is the kingdom where I would actively like to do so. This is such a thin deck. Like, it's very, very thin. Excessively so. Kaplane is really struggling to get rid of these tragic heroes. So I assume, okay. This doesn't feel like the thing that Kaplane's deck should have been doing at this point. Like they've popped neither of their heroes. I still think Kaplane's got a lead, but I think Tmoon's got a reasonable shot. Maybe like 65-35 odds, something like that. Province Vagrant? It's either Province Vagrant or Province Copper. There's no way Province Nothing could possibly be better than Province Vagrant. Vagrant's clearly like good for your deck, and it's coffer neutral since you get a coffer back from buying it. Okay, Province Copper is fine as well, I think. This reminds me of one of those old psychology experiments where like you offer people three options. One is like a trip to Greece, one's a trip to Italy, and the third one is like a trip to Italy without like -$5, so you pay like $5 or like some trivial cost to it. And then everyone always picks a trip to Italy over a trip to Greece, in like much greater ratios than you would think. Because if you just like show one option that's clearly just like slightly strictly inferior to another, that one looks good all of a sudden. And so you got the situation where you have like Province Nothing, Province Copper, and Province Vagrant, and then your mind just naturally inclines you towards Province Vagrant because that's just like clearly strictly better than Province Nothing. But it's quite possible Province Copper was the best move there. Take the extra jump card for the extra coffer. Yeah, so there's got to be Province Duchy and hope Kaplane misses, which seems unlikely. Seems really unlikely now. Just barely makes it. 2-2. That player 2 advantage coming in clutch. What have we here? So we've only got one stack of villages, which is Fortress. The best payload in the abstract is Bridge Troll. I guess the question is, do you have enough actions to play all the Bridge Trolls? I think the answer is still yes. You can get super thin. So you won't need more than like 1 or 2 draw cards. So yeah, clear enough. I think the long term is Fortresses, Bridge Troll, Journeyman or 2. You can... Oh, you have Improve. Improve jives pretty well with Fortress. So you probably open with Improve, I think. And then you can turn your fortresses into Bridge Trolls or Journeymen and get the fortresses back. And then at some point you probably just kill the Improve because it's not really good in the very end game for you. Or maybe it could still be. Maybe like gaining a duchy is worth the terminal space. It's possible. You also have the consideration of Magic Lamp because Secret Cave is around. So in the short term, one of the most important things is going to be activating Magic Lamp. That makes Church look really good. It makes Secret Cave look really good. It makes Secret Passage look really good. All the secret things. So some combination of those. I think, how does one open here? Improve Church, Secret Cave Church, Church Silver, some Double Church even. I think I'm actually slightly less inclined towards Double Church just because of the Magic Lamp thing. Probably Church and then some other 3 or 4 cost. I haven't actually been looking at the chat. Let's see if anyone else has suggestions. John says Improve Fortress. I'm assuming that's not like a suggestion for the opening, or maybe you're just taking the high roll. But that's definitely a good thing. In general, Church Temple is interesting. That's plausible. If they collide, then you're probably pretty happy. Cave is asking if there's any love for Cave. The answer seems to be no. I don't see anyone mentioning that. So let's see what the openings were. Kaplane with Double Church. I mean, that's a good baseline opening. Double Church is generally, I think, pretty strong. But obviously, the fact that you're opening with 2 cards that are the same card is less good than usual with Magic Lamp around, which wants you to have 1 card of each. Tmoon takes Temple Church. Not my top choice, but I think it's alright. Temple kind of sucks when there's no 2s around, because it has the same problem as like Steward and Remake and stuff of hitting 2. But if you line up a Church, you could like set 1 card aside, trash 2 more cards, and that could still be alright. It does trash quickly, which is something to its credit. And then maybe you pick up like a Fortress and then improve, and then you improve the Temple later. I think it's a fine opening. Okay. Tmoon takes a silver. 1 silver seems totally fine to me. I don't think that there's any excuse to ever get a 2nd silver in this kingdom. Here I assume you set aside 1 copper and buy a 3 cost. Yep. Titan Drake seems incredibly skeptical of that cave buy. Doesn't seem all. Why is that bad? I don't know. Like Improved Fortress is real good, but trashing is a good way to make sure you line it up reliably. And then not adding stop cards to your deck is a good way to. I don't know. Like Secret Cave being a duration card is a good argument to its credit. If that helps you pop a lamp a turn or 2 sooner, that can help you get Journeyman and your Improved Fortress thing up and running as fast as just buying them sooner does. It's not obvious to me that Secret Cave was a bad choice there. Yeah, this seems like a good time for Improve. I guess in defense of Titan Drake's point, Kaplane is currently looking at a hand of Secret Cave Fortress that could have been an Improved Fortress. That's an unpleasant hand for Tmoon. They see their Magic Lamp, and then all their uniques are in the following hand. Juan. See, Joe Quiero Juan. I would assume next turn. Yeah, looks like it's guaranteed here. Tmoon would really like to draw their Magic Lamp. I think Tmoon can also guarantee that they pop next turn. They actually might be able to guarantee this turn. If they play Journeyman and name Copper, then I think it's guaranteed. I don't like the idea of naming Lamp quite as much. So do you set anything aside? You can. I don't think you do. No, I think you do. You set aside a copper, and then you buy improve. Seems right. They decided not to buy anything. That feels incorrect. You like that they didn't buy and improve? Well, the improve would have only made one less card miss the shuffle, the silver. I mean, you could still set aside the copper. And I think I'd be willing to have a silver in my shuffle to have an improve in my deck with Fortress around. And now having popped a lamp, the improved Fortress stuff is starting to look pretty good to me. Ah, but Temple Church does thin rather fast as well. Jot seems opposed to the mixing of religions. Okay, 2 fortresses. I like that. Yeah. I would not be happy if I lost the fortress bit split too badly. Even 6-4 would, I think, kind of hurt pretty bad. 7-3 would seem to be game losing. Because both your draw and your payload here are terminal action cards, which is annoying if you can only play 5 of them per turn. I don't have a good sense of who's in the lead here. Still seems like it could be anyone's game. Alright. Consensus seems to be kaplane. I mean, like, if I were Tmoon, I'd be really happy to have an improve in this deck right now. Wish for Fortress Bridge Troll and then still get an extra 5 off of it. Save the Journeyman, discard the Wish. Can I undo the Secret Cave discard? Okay, I was not following that well enough to understand why that was significant. I'll just trust that there was some sense to it. So I assume one of these is for a fortress. Yeah, I'd be looking to get as many fortresses as I possibly can for complaint. Let's see. So you wish for fortress, you wish for bridge troll, you play. Like, maybe. If you wish for bridge troll, you can't play at all. You wish for fortress, you play the improve. You buy 2 fortresses, you improve, and now you can get all of them, right? You wish for fortress, play improve, buy 2 fortresses, improve the other church into fortress. I think it's worth it. Good plan apparently does not. I mean, 7 fortresses, which is still available here, is still winning, but they could have had 8 fortresses. That would have been absolutely game over. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Undo all of this. Go back. Please go back. Okay, so Complaint has decided that he only wants half the fortresses. How diplomatic. Yes, this does look winning for Complaint, though. As team and I think you just take all the fortresses, but then you're kind of behind on everything else, even if you're tied in villages. What? Does nobody want to have actions? I'm so confused. Like, no, you take it. No, you take it. I mean, I guess they were worried about losing the bridge troll split too bad, which is also a concern, but less of a concern in my mind than not having any villages. Mm. Now all of the fortresses time? Does that lower piles too much? Team Indus has the points lead. I'm sure there's a line here where Complaint can get all the fortresses safely, but maybe you have to make sure you don't allow like a church pilot or something. I mean, the cost of forts isn't the money. The cost is maybe your opponent can gain like 6 churches or something. I think you just take all the fortresses and score a little. Or do they not? Maybe they don't. I mean, include the improved gain in there, because they've got surely at least 1 3 cost, right? Yeah, they've got a church in play, so they have at least 1 improved. Oh no, they don't have an improved. Never mind. Shoot, yeah, they have like no gains, do they? Yeah. Honestly, probably whatever Complaint chooses will end up being winning. This looks like a pretty decisive position to be in. I mean, you can just like wish for province here if you want. Yeah, that, and then buy a bunch of fortresses. Wish for province, buy, I don't know, like 4 fortresses and something, and then improve into a journeyman. Yeah, that seems pretty good too. I would have thought you wanted at least 1 or 2 more fortresses than that. But this seems totally fine. Like, Conspirator is a card that can increase your chance of dudding, whereas Fortress decreases your chance of dudding. And a real bad dud or two is like the only conceivable way Kaplane loses this right now. Like, I don't. How many did they take? 3? I don't think they needed 3 conspirators worth of economy. Like 2 fortresses, conspirator, secret passage, or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was an unnecessarily risky play for Kaplane. Although risky here means like increasing Tmoon's chances from like 1% to 2% or something. Yeah, I don't. I don't know what you buy as Tmoon here. Um, I think as Tmoon, I would probably just like gratuitously lower piles than pray for a bad dud. I mean, you can't play around a good turn from Kaplane at this point. I don't think. Like, supposing Tmoon took like Fortress Journeyman, and Kaplane had a total dud turn. That might put them in a position where they could win the following turn with like 4 Journeymen in a province. You just like pray all of Kaplane's conspirators top decked. What's it like 2-all? It's 2-all right now. Yeah, I would have thought that as Tmoon, you take the fortresses and just really hope Kaplane has a bad turn, and then most likely lose that turn. All right, this has to be a win, right? I 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buys and a 6th gain. Yeah, this should be a win. Interestingly, one more bridge troll would have been too much for the improve to work. Alrighty. So 3-2 in Kaplane's favor now. Do or die for Tmoon. But they're player one. What have we got going on here? This, barring the events, I guess, this looks kind of, or landscapes, kind of looks like a classic simple kingdom. You got a little bit of draw, a little bit of actions, a little bit of trashing. Nothing super interesting looking. You want some hunting parties, you want some conspirators. Artificer, maybe. Doesn't look particularly amazing though, because Conspirator will be doing most of what Artificer is doing, but better. It's a shame because I really like Artificer. It's a fun card. I don't think you get too many of them here. So what's the opening? Double Amulet, probably. Maybe you could open like Amulet Fishing Village or something. Dismantle. I don't think so. I don't think I like Dismantle here. I mean, I enjoy kingdoms where Dismantle is good. I just played a kingdom today with Dismantle and Tomb where I scored all my points by just dismantling like 6 things a turn. This doesn't seem like that kingdom though, because I don't want gold so much as I want a bunch of conspirators. I'm not even sure like the Dismantle to gain conspirator is any less of a hassle than just like Artificer to gain conspirator or something. Not to say it's terrible, but I don't think I would like pass up on a conspirator gain for Dismantle here. Oh, that's true. I can't gain hunting parties. That actually is probably a better target. Maybe? I think I'd rather just play like double amulets, conspirators. I think I don't know. I don't hate the dismantle idea. I can see the logic to it. Maybe you like you open double amulet, you get thin early, and then you dismantle one of those amulets as soon as they run the course into like a hamlet, and then later dismantles can get you hunting parties. That could be good. In any case, let's see. So Kaplane opens double amulet. That seemed like the kind of obvious to open to me. Tmoon opens amulet silver, which seems worse, although I guess safer. Nor will they collide. Kaplane sees an amulet turn 3 and an amulet turn 4. I mean, if you open double amulet, you find one each of the turn 3, turn 4 shuffles. Then I think you're already well on your way to winning, because that's just like a really nice situation to be in. So Tmoon, trash for an amulet. Tmoon actually did get about as good of a shuffle as you could possibly want for the opening they had. They also got to trash 2 estates, and they got a hunting party. That is, both of them got unreasonably good draws there, I think. Yeah, Tmoon doesn't just have like the secret star chart. They've got like a hidden Hubble telescope or something. It's working out very nicely. Soothsayer, I assume, probably never sees play here. It does not seem like a kingdom where that is worth getting. Horse could be a horse. Could be, yeah, could be Hamlet. Could be play it for coin and buy a conspirator. Good point from Xerix. Hamlet is basically just horse plus because it comes with a horse and like an entire mansion too. and a cart. Okay, Tmoon takes the coin. Wait, that didn't make sense. That didn't make sense at all. Okay, that made more sense. Yeah, there's no reason to pass up on trashing a copper. You didn't need the money. Let's see. So we've got a horse in the horse art, a horse in the ride art, predictably, a horse in the road network art. Two of them, in fact. Is it three, maybe? I think there's like a third one in the background there. Could be a cat. I can't tell. Horse in the hunting party art, horse in the Hamlet art. I presume that the dismantle fella is looking at a picture of a horse. I think that's all the horses. There could be a horse inside of those tents. Cannot conclusively deny that. Maybe they've got like a carousel at that fair. I'd be more persuaded if the fish were instead a seahorse. Alright, glad I've paid sufficient attention to this game to give informative commentary on the decisions. I like that they're playing cards and buying things. It does seem relatively basic, though. Like 5 should be hunting party, 4 conspirator, and so forth. Yeah, it does seem likely that Soothsayer is looking at a horse. Like, if she were looking at a person, she'd probably be looking straight ahead. The only reason she'd be looking that high is because she's looking at, like, a Clydesdale or something that's way above her eye level. So who's in the lead here? I have no idea. They each have 3 hunting parties. Tmoon has a Soothsayer, which I dislike. I'm going to say kaplane is in the lead by virtue of not having a Soothsayer in his deck. So I think you discard, like, anything but copper here. Yeah, and then you can play your Soothsayer and guarantee you draw them both. You discard your copper, there's a chance your hunting party fails to draw it. Right, Tmoon could really use a dismantle at this point, I think, to dismantle that Soothsayer. I don't like the idea of using golds as your primary payload. Amulet has some dragons. It does. I don't think I ever noticed that before. There are some funky looking dragons. They don't have front feet, but they also don't have wings, which is the normal reason you wouldn't have front feet. Bullheads with ant pincers. It does kind of look like that. Artificer does seem odd to me. Is kaplane overdrawing? In which case, maybe it makes sense. I mean, otherwise, conspirator seems better. It's possible. Maybe kaplane is thin enough that like that artificer can like mid-turn gain a conspirator. In which case, I can see the rationale behind it. I'll have to see how this turn plays out before I make a judgment on whether this artificer is good or not. I mean, I guess if you're getting free draw from your opponent's soothsayer, then you're going to be overdrawing. I don't think that was the right card to discard. Again, if you want to guarantee your hunting party draws, you should discard a unique card. Like now they failed to draw all their cards. And I think they would have been more likely had they like discarded their amulet and used a hunting party to draw back to it. Hunting party can be awkward at times. Not like nothing near Stables level awkward. Stables is just atrocious, but like this is part of the reason why I don't like the soothsayer as much as the other stuff. Like hunting party, I feel like is excellent with like conspirator type payload, and less good when you're trying to draw a bajillion golds that you have. I don't understand Cave's point. Is fairgrounds not describing the grounds on which a fair is held? Perhaps I don't understand what that word means, but I would interpret fairgrounds to just be the location of the fair. Oh, you're saying it's like it's the grounds where the fair would be held, but like not at the time the fair is being held? No, I hadn't heard Donald Duck say that before, but I think I'm with him. Fairground seems unnecessarily gloomy for a fair. Like the lady in Fairgrounds looks like she just witnessed some like horrible like accident on one of the rides or something. I don't know. Maybe she's just really sad because she's leaving. See how she's facing away from the fairgrounds? It might be that she's walking away and she's very sad because her time at the fair has elapsed. Oh my goodness, could that actually be a horse in the middle tint? I can kind of see the shape that we're getting at. Could also be a cat. It looks like a bipedal a quadruped animal. I'm not one to ever conclusively rule out that a thing in Dominion card art could be a cat. Not after seeing Worf. I'm surprised we still only have one conspirator between the two of them here. Am I alone in thinking conspirator just looks like clearly the best payload in this kingdom? Hmm. Road network. Is it road network time already? Hunting parties are out. Sometime in the next turn or two, I could see road network. Mm-hmm. Did Tmoon lose the hunting party split, or is that a hunting party on top? I think it might just be a hunting party on top. Okay, yeah. So 5-5 on hunting parties, 1-0 on soothsayers. Kaplane still has more coppers, which I guess makes sense if they've had to trash some curses. Or a curse. Province Road Network still feels a bit early to me. I would think you take another buy and then buy like some conspirators or some such. Like 2 conspirators and a fishing village, maybe. Farmers Market, fishing village, conspirator. Farmers Market's actually kind of okay, I guess. I mean, you're having to discard some like card at random for plus buy anyway. So I guess if your Hamlet's already -1 draw for the Farmers Market, then maybe. Yeah, I can see that. Hmm. Okay, so we have the argument being made that perhaps this lady is sad because she is not allowed into the fairgrounds on account of being one of the plebeians. Uh, her clothing does look sufficiently drab that that might be plausible. What's that in her hand? She's got a basket. Yeah, I guess maybe a basket is not the sort of thing you would bring to the fairgrounds. That's the sort of thing that you'd be carrying if you were working. She's had to walk by the fairgrounds on her way to pick up something. I don't think I particularly want to work at a fairgrounds. Artificers are being $10 conspirators. This reminds me, I did say I wanted to see how that original Artificer panned out, and then I got distracted by card art or something before overlooking. So Kaplane gained their Artificer on turn 9. In turn 10, did they use the discard effect? Uh, yeah, they did. They discarded 2. They gained a farmer's market. So the original Artificer, I think, turned out fine. Like, it got as much money as a conspirator on the turn they played it, and it gained them a thing. The additional Artificers are confusing me. Fortunately, I was too distracted by the Artificer stuff to see what was apparently a horror-inducing card play order. I'm assuming it was just the hunting party Hamlet shenanigans, which Tmoon seems to not be getting quite right. Kaplane does love farmers markets. Yeah, I was noticing earlier, Tmoon kept discarding stuff that made the hunting parties less likely to draw. Obviously, hunting party can't draw all the cards in your discard or cards you already have in your hand. So it can be better to discard uniques. Also, the play order, when you have like multiple hunting parties and such, can be important. Kaplane feels in the lead at this point. I also just like the contents of his deck a lot better. He does not have a Soothsayer and Golds. He instead has Artificers and Conspirators. Fewer of the latter than I would want, but Artificer still seems better than Golden Soothsayer to me. Yeah, this is quite the Conspirator split. I mean, it can never be too early for right now. Tmoon probably needs Road Network more badly than Kaplane does, because they've got a lot more stop cards in their deck. Ironic, given that they're the one who picked up the cursor. But that's Soothsayer for you. I think that's too many M's in that word. Yeah, there you go. I don't think this is over, but I think Kaplane would have to have like a dud turn or something for Tmoon to win. Like, I think if they both keep drawing their deck, Kaplane's deck just escalates more effectively, and then Green's more efficiently than Tmoon's does. And Kaplane's even already got those 4 Farmers Markets points. Hmm. Alright, so Freaky's saying right now we should gain Conspirator, Conspirator, Artificer. Is there a third pile that's low? Doesn't look like it. That seems probably good to me. Can a curse pile up be a thing? Like, curses are easy to get with Artificer and plus buy. Um, Yeah, I'm not sure exactly which turn I'm expecting this curse pile out to happen. I'm just speculating about piles that might run. But, like, curses seem like the most feasible pile that one could gain in one turn, when those gains would have to come from Artificer. Okay, 2 minutes taking a province. Farmer's Market? I don't like that. Okay. Not a fan of all the farmer's markets. Not at all. Province and Road Network seems fine to me. I think I might have taken, like, Conspirator and Hamlet following that. Yeah, the hunting party log has gotten cleaned up pretty substantially. It's a lot easier to interpret. Yeah, I guess the one change that'd be nice. Change and finally to, like, and last but not least. I recently found out that Fortune Teller has the same wording now. I don't. You discovered that the wording of Fortune Teller hasn't changed? Oh, you mean it has the same wording as, like, Hunting Party. I see. I had not found that out. I guess one would have to play a fortune teller to find it out. And so the situations in which one would discover that are slim. So playing deliberating hard here. Let's see, how much draw do they have? 1, 2, 3, 4 draw. I think they could gain a free conspirator here and have it not impede their turn. They decide they'd rather farmer's market. I thought the answer was just take a conspirator. Oh, that's fair. They are low and plus buy. Yeah, given that, I guess Conspirator did make a lot of sense. They don't need the money, they need the buys. Yeah, farmer's market seems good. Hamlet would seem fine as well. I'm following y'all now. Double province road network. Right now, 2 provinces. Agreed. Well, because Fool's Gold's not in the kingdom. It's kind of the main reason. Can Fairground end up being more than province? I assume the answer is no, right? We got 18 cards in this kingdom, by my count. So I guess the reason to take Fairgrounds in would be to prolong the game, but then at the cost of putting the burden on yourself of activating it, which might require a few unnecessary gains. Is the idea that just a long game favors kaplane a lot more? Maybe? Well, he had 23 money and 3 buys. So the money was no object. Unless you're trying to get like 3 victory cards. You could do like double province fairgrounds. Was it 4 buys? Am I mistaken? I thought it was 3. JC Thress suggesting there were fewer than 3 buys. Disagree with that. Displace would be really good in a kingdom with fairgrounds. Just turn provinces into fairgrounds and back. I'm still inclined to say kaplane is in the lead. I don't have a strong justification for that, but I think they are. They do have more points. That's one reason they might be in the lead. I feel like Farmer's Black Market would be the more aesthetically appealing order to that. Like where the farmers go to get the under-the-table tomatoes. Can we win here? What? How are we winning? 5 provinces? That doesn't seem doable to me. So you got 10 money there. 10, so 20, 22, 23, 24. I'm not seeing. So what's the win then, if not 5 provinces? Nobody has discussed piling soothsayers. A glaring blind spot in our analysis. Yeah, if you get online soothsayers, you could play 8 of them and then also pile out curses. And that would come with 8 victory points, functionally speaking. Yeah, I'm not seeing the win network either, Johns. So what do you buy as Tmoon? You've got, oh wait, I counted this a second ago, 12, 22, 23, 24. You have 24 money, and you'll get 4 victory points. Is Triple Province losing? I have to assume the answer is yes. And you're drawing them a bunch of cards that way. So there's 1 Farmer's Market in the trash. Tmoon has 3 of them. So kaplane has 2 of them. You play both of your farmers markets, it'll be at 1. They play both of theirs, it'll be at 3. So you don't want any more farmers markets, because your farmers markets the following turn are going to be worth 4 and then 4 victory points. So that's already good enough. Interesting. You don't want to. I would think you do play both of these, because if you bring yours to 1, then they play both of theirs. Then you're standing to get 4 victory points the following turn, even if you don't gain an additional farmers market. It gives them 2 more money. Is that a significant number? I haven't counted what's in kaplane's deck. I mean, if your concern is, like, you want to win the following turn, bringing it to 1 not only powers up their 2 on their turn, but it's also going to power up the 2 that you have remaining on your following turn as well. Kaplane gaining more mid-turn as Artificer. That's something worth thinking about. I don't think Tmoon wants more Artificer or more Farmers Markets. That's an interesting line. Discard Farmers Market Silver Province for Fishing Village. I like that idea. -1 coin this turn, but it's probably not a coin that's going to matter that much. So you can take one province safely. Triple sounds losing. I just have to assume triple province has got to be losing. Can you double province? Or can you afford not to double province? Like if Kaplane triples, do they win anyway? I think you could afford not to double province because Fairgrounds is around. I think one province is a good number. Fairgrounds horse sounds pretty good to me. I like that. Yeah, adding a unique dud card like Estate does seem like a way to substantially reduce your likelihood of drawing everything. In fact, I feel like Tmoon is already pretty much guaranteed not to quite draw their whole deck. And they just kind of have to hope they find their conspirators and such. My guess is it's still a little short of quad province unless the farmers markets are sitting at a very desirable number. Let's see. It's 11 now. You gain a duchy. It sounds like it's unlikely to get to 15 because you have to go pretty far out of your way to power them up. Well, maybe it's not that huge. No, let's think about this. A duchy is a thing you might naturally get anyway, and the artificers can take like a copper and a curse for free, or more or less, I guess. If you can play them towards the end. I think I'm coming around to the idea that it's quite possible to power these things up. I think duchy, copper, curse is already 3 of them, and then you gain like an estate or something by discarding 2 victory cards. Maybe something like that. Although, wait, actually, Tmoon only has the 1 artificer, right? Isn't it 3 to 1? So maybe it's a little bit harder for Tmoon. Is Kaplane contemplating a draw here? Ah, interesting. So Kaplane must be looking at some line that leads to a draw. Maybe that's conspirators, farmers markets, and 2 fairgrounds or something? I do believe Kaplane is correct, that if you get to 3.5 and your opponent's at 2.5, that counts as a win. So what's this drawing line that Kaplane is contemplating? Maybe he just foresees it as a possibility. How many farmers markets do you need to play? 1, 2, 3. There's no way he's playing 4 farmers markets this turn, I don't think. He'd have to mid-turn gain 2 of them. Alright, let's find out about this draw that Kaplane apparently sees. I'm not sure what the line is. Maybe he's looking at a estate pile out? There's no way, right? He doesn't have that many gains. But estates would be a tie. Let's see if he gains 2 farmers. No. I'm not seeing this tie. What's the win? 4 provinces? Or are you looking at a pile out and a points lead? And where's the 9 points coming from it with that? Postaci? Alright, let's see. So Freaky's alleging that it is possible to win the game without emptying provinces. I've heard tell of this, but I'm curious to see if that is a thing. Alright, looks like, yeah, Kaplane's got it. Okay. Alright, that's the match. Got a new Misted 3.5 in the house.